They stood before me, backs against the lockers, hands on hips, perfection from head to toe. Gabrielle was wearing the cobalt blue blazer I'd been eyeing up in Zara over the summer, wishing the price tag would magically lose 2 digits. It was slightly open, revealing a top that was cut way too low for the teacher not to notice. Annabelle stood beside her, the eternally loyal sidekick, never doubting, never questioning, always following. She was the kind of girl that would run you down with her mom's car just because her friends told her to. She wore whatever was left over in the wardrobe they dipped into, no matter if that wardrobe was her own. And, leaning against the wall by the water fountain, perched in the lead position as always, was the feared Rochelle Smith. Her blood ran deep in these walls and in the very foundation of the boarding school. Her mother had been a student here, her grandmother, maybe even her great-grandmother. Rochelle's parents had been very generous over the years, lining the pockets of administrators, all for the sake of educational resources, of course. No one could, or would, accuse the Smith family of anything other than that. Even if their daughter was suddenly now head girl and captain of the volleyball and field hockey team, and she and her friends were the only ones in our year who enjoyed back-to-back study hall periods after lunchtime on Fridays, which meant come 1:05 p.m., they were done with school for the weekend. The rest of us mortals had our study periods sandwiched between humanities and PE, which meant most of it was spent in the changing room sorting trainer laces and squeezing into too tight sports bras in the fear that by the time we actually developed anything worth admiring in the chest region, it would already be stretched down to our kneecaps. Rochelle looked particularly goddess-like today, compressed into an above-the-knee black and white floral dress, cut low enough to show off a glistening collarbone that even I was staring at. Thank God this was an all-girls boarding school. Who knew what would be going on in this hallway if boys were here gawking too? "Charlie, you're gawking," nudged Olive, who'd been my best friend since day one. I closed my mouth and diverted my eyes back to the classroom door, as we all stood waiting for Mr. Gillies to let us in for woodwork. "I wasn't gawking," I snorted. "I'm just stunned the L's are allowed to dress like that." "It's the last Friday of the month. Lighten up. It's the only day we don't have to wear a uniform. They're just expressing themselves." Olive grinned, pumping her fingers into exaggerated quotation marks. I can see Annabelle's belly button, and I dread to think what I could see if Rochelle dropped a pencil and bent over. I shuddered dramatically, shaking the skinny rose gold bracelets on my right wrist, which were the only thing at all trendy or cool about how I dressed.